now to the Saints organization is the best situation. They're not gonna give throw Jameis in there for the same excuses about injuries. And at any given time, if Dalton should falter and he doesn't play well, I believe they'll go right back to Jameis Winston. This is not they're not gonna it's not a sole job, you know what I'm saying? This job is up in the air. For God's sakes, we can probably see Taysom Hill, you know what I'm saying? So I think what happening with Saints fans is we get a little emotional, and I guess we want to be the GMs of this organization. We want to be the people that's running this team. We think what's best for the organization. We don't see these guys like the organization see these guys. And that's one thing we don't see. We don't know what's going on what's going on in practice. We don't know how Jameis is actually feeling and how he's looking in practice. So I don't know if it's just because the indictment of Jameis Winston. I really don't. I think it's more about his health than anything. I don't think it's just that Andy is just hands down better than Jameis Winston. I don't believe that, okay? But what I do want Saints fans to understand is the coaches work with Jameis every day. They are with him every single day, okay? You're evaluated in practice. You are evaluated in practice as well as the football game. And you got to be productive in practice enough to be able to play the football game on Sunday. Okay? You have to be productive enough in practice. And you got to understand that Jameis didn't have much preseason. Andy has been with this team through the OTAs a lot. He has played more preseason games. And not to just give any excuses, but that's just the facts. That the team is going to play for Andy Dalton right now, and the team will play for Jameis if needed. Okay, and this is a business decision, and a business decision. A lot of people are butt hurt. A lot of people want Dennis Allen fired. A lot of Saints fans are ready to jump ship. There's a lot of Saints fans out there ready to jump ship. A lot of Saints fans are not standing by this team due to a quarterback decision. Okay? I don't agree with everything that the organization do, but I'm not in the organization. I don't get paid to evaluate players. I don't get paid to evaluate football players. That's not my job. I'm a truck driver. And I think the problem with a lot of Saints fans is you think you know, but you don't know. It's more in this situation than just Jameis, being injured, okay? There's a lot of things that goes on, and they evaluate you all the way up in the week to see if you, especially if the injury is holding him back, if he's playing good enough in practice. And a lot of people don't believe in practice, but it's all about rhythm. It's all about rhythm in football. It's all about being productive. And you can say what you want and say that the records are 1-2. They got the same records, but Jameis have not moved the football. He has not moved the football as productive as Andy Dalton. And you can throw out the race card. You can throw out all these other issues that you have with Andy Dalton, the age, the all these things. When it's all said and done, a coach is going to evaluate you strictly on your ability, your production, and your availability. Okay? You have to be available. And these are things that they have. It's called chemistry. The offense is finally starting to get a groove. They're finally starting to get chemistry. So I'm thinking what they're doing is they're going with Andy until Andy falls off the cliff, until they see that the team is not responding to him. I'm not writing off Jameis Winston. I have not written off Jameis Winston. But some of you Saints fans are really, really taking this to another level. Some of you Saints fans want the head coach fired. Some of you Saints fans want Sean Payton. Sean Payton ain't coming back. Sean Payton decided to do what he had to do. He put us in this situation. A lot of you guys are still hollering about last year. And last year we didn't go to the playoffs. We wasn't a playoff team last year. And some of you guys are still talking about Drew Brees. Some of you guys are still talking about Sean Payton. Sean Payton, Drew Brees ain't thinking nothing of y'all. They're gone. And I'm here to support whoever is the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints right now. It doesn't matter. If Jameis was in there, I would be supporting Jameis. And I have seen Saints fans comments. They want the Saints to lose to the Raiders by 30 points so Dennis Allen can be fired. I have never seen a fan base hoping for this organization to lose because of their dislike of the head coach. I have never seen so many erratic conversations. I mean, it's crazy. You want the team to lose. And I don't care if it's Jameis starting, I'm supporting Jameis. If Andy's starting, I'm supporting Andy. If Taysom is starting, I'm supporting Taysom. But for me to want to root against my team just because I don't like a coach and I don't like his decision is definitely extreme. I understand, Saints fans, that you are spoiled. I understand that Saints fans have been spoiled for a long time because before Sean Payton, we never hosted the Lombardi up in the air. And I understand that. We get emotional. Fans get emotional. That's just what we are, emotional. We think we know more than the coach in the organization. We think we know, but we don't know. I don't know. I can't never sit here and tell you that I know what the thinking of the organization. Some of you guys who think because you played high school football, because you played college ball or whatever you did, that you know more than this organization, that you know more than the next person. Some of you guys' ego have taken you to other places. And it's crazy that you still live in Al Bundy. A lot of you guys live Al Bundy. Back at Pork High. A lot of you guys are Pork High people. Remember when I scored 6 touchdowns in a game at Pork High? Do you remember them days when I scored I threw 3 touchdowns and scored 1 touchdown at Pork High? But that's the way you're thinking. You think that we care about your past, that we care. And Saints fans have the right to be upset. Saints fans have the right to be upset about losing. Every right. And I can't put all the fault on Jameis. I can't put all the fault on Andy Dalton. This is a whole unit that is a shell of themselves defensively. But you got to understand that the defense been holding it down for a very long time. The defense been holding it down for a very long time. Starting out the gates, the defense were holding it down, and our offense were too slow to catch up. See, you guys don't want to tell the truth, but I'm going to tell the truth. It wasn't just Jameis Winston. It was multiple issues. Pete Carmichael getting into with play calling, trying to figure out things after not having Sean Payton. You got a new offensive coordinator. You have a new offensive coordinator. So, of course, things are going to start off very slow. And you guys are still living Sean Payton. It gets me sick that you keep talking about a guy who don't want you. Some of you guys keep, free Sean Payton, free Sean Payton. Sean Payton ain't freeing nothing. He don't want to, he got out. He created the things that's going on with this organization. Sean Payton created. He left the building because he didn't have a quarterback that he believed in. He left the building. The Saints organization went after Deshaun Watson. Or you guys are just going to be delusional and act like the Saints were not trying to upgrade that position. They like Jameis, but they didn't love him. If you love somebody, he would be right now starting this Sunday. But if you like somebody, you're going to consider the next person. You gave him a 2-year contract that can be voided in the next year, that the Saints can terminate in the next year. Have I given up on Jameis? No, because I'm not sold on Andy Dalton either. But what I see what's going on is the Saints feel that they have a best chance of winning with the Andy Dalton and the Taysom Hill. They figure that they are much better with a guy who is going to manage the football game and allow Taysom to do his best things. And when they got production out of the offense, when the Saints was at their best, is when they used Andy as their game manager and Taysom as the guy that was featured to help the Saints get to the next level. The Saints average of punts went up when they used that formula. And you can't make this up. The winning has not translated over. We have lost games due to defensive miscues. But don't act like the offense have not been productive. Yes, Andy Dalton threw 3 interceptions in one game. But I could look at other games where we should have won the game against Minnesota. The Minnesota game, we should have won against Minnesota. So we got many about the one bad game. I could talk about the good games that the man has had. Matter of fact, the man had a terrible game against the Arizona Cardinals. A terrible game, a terrible good game against the Arizona Cardinals, throwing pick 6. But he also threw 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. When Jameis Winston threw his 3 interceptions, the game was over. And the bottom line is, it's all about production. It's not about feelings. It's about production. And if Andy Dalton stank it up Sunday, I'm gonna be the main one. Bench Andy Dalton in the first quarter. If he's terrible, let's get Jameis Winston in. I don't give a damn who it is. I'm not a fan of none of these quarterbacks. Jameis has more talent, physical talent, but he lacks on other things. See, Jamarcus Russell. Many have forgotten about Jamarcus Russell. He was the number 1 quarterback drafted out of the University of LSU. Went on to play with the Raiders. How ironic we playing the Raiders. And Jamarcus Russell had every ability to be a great quarterback in the NFL. But what was Jamarcus Russell missing? And I can go on, and we can talk about Geno Smith. And that's a great comparison. Geno Smith was the number 1 draft pick out of the University of West Virginia. And Geno Smith was another guy who was expected to be a great quarterback when drafted. Geno was similar to Jameis Winston, a journeyman, a guy who was just looking around and caught on what a team was able to sit behind a potential Hall of Fame quarterback. He sat behind Russell Wilson. And when he went over there to sit behind Russell Wilson, he picked Russell Wilson's mind. And one of the things that a lot of people don't understand, picking Russell Wilson's mind, was he was able to overcome all the doubters. Geno Smith is totally different than what Geno Smith was when he was at the when he played last year when we played the Seattle Seahawks. And Geno is cooking right now. And nobody can say nothing about Geno Smith. And let me talk about, we're gonna go back to these to what John Anderson is talking about, and he says Winston, Breeze, Manning, only quarterbacks to throw 5,000 yards don't mean shit to me, sir. 5,000 yards don't mean nothing, because when Drew Brees was throwing 5,000 yards, we were not winning. When Drew Brees was throwing 5,000 yards, we were not winning. We won a Super Bowl with Drew Brees throwing under 5,000 yards. We were a balanced football team when we won. What quarterback has won a Super Bowl throwing 5,000 yards? 5,000 yards don't mean a jack nothing, because you fail to realize you're throwing 30 touchdowns, but you're throwing 31 interceptions. See, that takes away from the 5,000 yards. I want Jameis to be a complete quarterback and not a half quarterback. And I want you guys to understand this. A complete quarterback, not a half quarterback. And we can't go based on our feelings, because some of us want to see a person of color at quarterback. It's not even about that. If you're a Saints fan, you can give a damn what color of the skin of the person. We want production. You know, and a lot of people compares the Brett Favre through 27 interceptions, Peyton Manning through 28 interceptions during his rookie year. Well, we can go on and on about these guys, but all these quarterbacks that you guys keep bringing up all have Super Bowl rings. Every last one of them quarterbacks. Every last one of them quarterbacks that y'all talk about through almost 30 interceptions, every last one of them are either Hall of Famers or have multiple Super Bowls. Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowl rings. And Jameis Winston, talent-wise, is better than Eli Manning, talent-wise. But what Eli had was some brains at the top. And I hate to say that, because at the end of the day, we all want to see him win. We all want to see Jameis succeed. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a damn good player when he put his mind, but he's not consistent. Jameis will come up there and put big numbers up, and next week we wonder where that Jameis come from. And that's crazy. Yeah, well, part of that is sir, is because Jameis had 5 to 6 head coaches. Part of that is because many quarterbacks have had bad records under 5 different coaches, and then they finally get it right. You can make that same case for Geno Smith. If you're going to talk about that, sir, you can say the same thing about Geno Smith. You can say the same thing about Marcus Mariota. You can say the same thing. And these 2 guys have went on with other teams, and they're doing pretty well with themselves. I think you're making too many excuses for guys. I don't do it. I don't make excuses for guys. Okay? At some point, they got to get it. At some point, these guys got to get it. I don't care. I don't look upon excuses, because I know that a lot of our fans did this with Teddy Bridgewater. A lot of Saints fans did this. They thought they were trying to run Drew Brees out of the building, and they saw a 5-0 record. That's what they saw. But literally, that they know that you got to play the whole season. And this is what I talk about emotional Saints fans. You don't give me a glance of what you are when nobody ain't got no game tape on you. You don't give me no glance. As soon as a new season happens, people get game tape on you. And that's what happened. Teddy Bridgewater got a nice contract, went with the Carolina Panthers, and he became Teddy Shitwater again. He got another contract. You can't say he didn't get opportunities. He became the quarterback of the Denver Broncos. And now he's the backup quarterback for Tua, and he has opportunities to put Tua on the bench. Some guys just don't have it. Some guys, no excuses. Some guys just don't have it. Now, do I think that Jameis have all the tools? Yeah. Do I believe that Jameis Winston has all the tools to be a great quarterback? Yes. And I don't want to sit here and make excuses. Why put Jameis in there on Sunday and he's half Jameis, and then he have another bad game, and then you guys gonna never give the man another opportunity? This should light some fire under Jameis Winston. If I was Jameis Winston and they benched me for Andy Dalton, you should preparate. You should get yourself back into the lab and see. This is what great quarterbacks do. This is what potential great quarterbacks do. They go back in the lab. He's not the only one that has been benched. Ryan Tannehill was benched in Miami. People don't talk about Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill took Tennessee to the AFC Championship. Ryan Tannehill has been a solid quarterback in the NFL. When he left, he had took advantage of opportunities. He was another number one quarterback that was passed over. But we don't talk about these things because we want to have a race sympathy card. We want to be sympathetic for our brothers because of due to the color of their skin. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to judge you because of the color of your skin. I'm going to judge you on your performance, and you can do better. Matt Jones was almost going to lose his job. They were ready to Matt Jones. They benched Matt Jones. But soon as the other man had wound up playing a bad game, Matt Jones came back in there and got his job back. I want to see Jameis Winston do the same thing and stop having his fans make excuses for him. Y'all was calling Drew Brees noodle arm. Saints fans was calling Drew Brees noodle arm. Everything that Drew Brees has done for this organization, a lot of you guys wanted Drew Brees out. And this is what you get. You got what you wanted, and he's gone. And now you're missing it. You never missed a well till the well run dry, and that's just what it is. Let me tell you something about a half noodle on Drew Brees. A half noodle on Drew Brees is better than the quarterbacks that we have on this football team. Because it takes leadership. It takes leadership. Football is all about IQ and leadership. Being able to control your locker room. Being able to take accountability for the things that you have done wrong. Ain't nobody has done Jameis wrong. This is Jameis' opportunity. Jameis was given the keys to succeed. The Saints went out there and spent money for Jameis to succeed. You got to take every advantage that you can. I never teach my children that people are supposed to give them things. I never taught my children. You have to earn your keep in this world. You have to earn. No excuses in life. There's no crying. You get your ass up there and you produce. I don't make excuses for my children. And I don't make excuses for my people because of the color of their skin. You can succeed and you can be better than anybody. It doesn't matter what color of your skin, you can evolve to the player that you can be. Same thing I tell my children. There's no excuses for nobody. And the problem is we are making weak. Our generation is weak. We have a generation that is built on weakness, and they cannot take criticism. They cannot take constructive criticism.